I have been a hobbyist fruit and vegetable gardener my entire adult life, but I really ramped up production, like probably a lot of people, in 2020. And I'd like to share with you some mistakes that I notice a lot of hobbyist gardeners making, and help you to avoid those mistakes so that you can get the maximum yield with the least cost and the least effort. So the first thing is make sure that you are growing from seed. This requires a tiny bit more work, but it's so small, the extra work that you're putting in. For the price of just one plant of this size from one of the big box retailers, you can get an entire pack of 35 seeds from Baker Creek. Furthermore, the seeds that you get are going to be non-GMO, they will be heirloom, and the seeds that those tomatoes produce will be viable. That means you can grow another tomato plant out of those. The tomato plants that you buy from the big box retailers like Home Depot and Tractor Supply, those are going to be almost guaranteed they will be the Bonnie brand. Those are GMO plants. Not only are those tomato varieties designed, they have been bred for their characteristics of non-bruising so that they can be shipped across the country, and not for flavor and juiciness and taste, things like that. They also have non-viable seeds when they finally produce tomatoes. So you'll get one, they're like annual flowers. You're going to get one production cycle out of them, and then they're useless. So what would you rather have? Would you rather have one plant, or would you rather have 30 to 40? I start all of my seeds in a little cup like this. These are just mouthwash cups that I get at the dollar store. I get like 50 for $1, or actually I think it's $1.25 now. And I just put a tiny little bit of soil along with some perlite in there to keep it nice and light. And within about 1 month, these this is a pepper plant, but my tomato plants are ready for transplant into a larger pot like this one. So for $4, I got almost 35 plants. You're never gonna have 100%. You'll typically not ever have 100% germination success rate, but it's very close. I would say my rate is at least 90% with Baker Creek seeds. All right, and then my second tip would be, once you have your seeds and you're ready to plant them, this is when I see hobbyist growers making the next mistake, and that is to go out and buy a lot of potting medium at big box retailers. That means like bagged soil, and then they buy pots. In most areas around the country, the average for 1 cubic foot of dirt, and that is more than enough dirt for all of these pots, times 2, actually probably times 3. You're going to spend about $40, and that's if you go and pick up the dirt yourself. Hopefully you do have some friend with a big Ford F-150 type truck with that size of bed, which you can put a liner, a tarp on the bed of the truck, fill it up with dirt, and haul it back home. If you don't, this is a good time to start making some friends who have a truck. But when you think about how much money it would cost you to buy even close to that amount of dirt that is prepackaged for your convenience in a cute and tidy bag, you're going to spend at least 10 times more for, pound for pound. And it isn't even really that neat. Have you noticed that those bags always have holes in them? So it's really not all that convenient. See if you can buy dirt in your area that is just loose. Also, the topsoil that is sold in the big box retailers, just like the black gold that I buy, that we load up into the back of our truck, Typically, this is going to be slightly too heavy for your plants to thrive. Their little root systems will struggle. So what you can do is hit up your local Starbucks and ask them if you can have their used coffee grounds. Most Starbucks locations have a policy that they store their used coffee grounds separate from their other waste. And if you're lucky, you may be one of the only customers that takes advantage of that and asks to take those coffee grounds off of their hands. Now, it is true that unused coffee grounds do have a lot of lovely acid. They'll lend a little bit of a healthy acidity to your soil, but most of that acidity is gone by the time that the coffee grounds have been run through hot water. No matter, you can still mix it with this topsoil, and it's going to help lighten it up, make it more light and fluffy. And so your lovely tomato plants and pepper plants and all of your other plants will find it that their delicate root systems when they're young will thrive a lot more easily. You should also be looking on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and really anywhere where you can get low cost or ideally free pots. All of these pots were free to me. Look around any kind of new construction sites. Always be on the alert for curbs on trash day. A lot of gardeners will be getting rid of these. If they bought a lot of plants at big box retailers to do their own little weekend warrior projects, they're typically dumping these next to their mailbox. So go ahead and be ready to take them. I always keep the back of my van lined with a tarp so that in case anything is dirty that I want to load up, such as, dirty pots, I can take it and my car won't get dirty. Okay, so let's see, we have 3 tips so far. Grow from seed, buy cheap dirt, use soil amendments from places like Starbucks. The fourth thing that I would say is that tomatoes especially need to have routine watering. So whereas some other things really thrive with every other day watering, a deep watering, tomatoes really love once a day, not heavy watering, but just maybe a light to moderate watering. Unfortunately, if they don't get that, they will produce fruit that starts to split. It actually looks like the skin is too tight for the ingredients that are inside. And then for the fifth thing that I would say, if you really want to increase your production of your tomatoes, is, can you see this? Right in the middle here, it's like a V here of this stem. You can see there's like a little leaf growing here. So we call these suckers. These are only going to sap the energy of your tomato plant, and we're going to pluck that right now. This will enable our tomato plant to focus on main stem growth. So I don't see any other suckers on this plant just yet. This looks good. So those are 5 tips that will help you to grow the best possible tomato plants to get the highest yield for the lowest possible cost.